right, Angela, can you hear us again?
I
Good to
can.
go?
Yes.
Good. All right. So I'm going to introduce Angela and her work. Recently, I got to connect with her through a program called Girl Trek, which is aimed at helping Black women get back outside, walking and being healthy. And there's so much more to it. I got to meet one of the founders of Girl Trek, Morgan, through the Aspen Institute. I'm a healthy communities fellow. And she came to San Antonio last February. So doing some great work. Encourage you to check out Girl Trek. But through Girl Trek, I got to meet Angela. So I'm going to read her bio and then I'll hand it over. Angela McCree Brown is the founder and CEO of Project Reflect, a food systems design lab that develops and builds meaningful, just, and joyful food experiences with communities. Prior to launching the lab, she served as executive director with the Edible Schoolyard Project, a nonprofit dedicated to designing hands-on educational experiences in the garden, kitchen, and cafeteria that connect children to food, nature, and each other. Angela has also served as the Director of Innovation and Strategy with San Francisco Unified School District's Future Dining Experience, where she and her team leveraged private funding and the support of $20 million bond to redesign the school food system of San Francisco. She's a 2024 Mimi and Peter E. Haas Distinguished Visitor and with the Haas Center for Public Service at Stanford University, and also has served as the 2016-2017 Stanford University School Civic Innovation Fellow. Angela holds a master's in food studies from NYU and lives in Oakland, California with her wife, Anne Marie. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. Woo! Amazing work. I'm going to mute myself, Angela.
Right on. Am I good to go, Stephen? Good to
Yes,
go?
you're good to go.
Okay, great. Thank you. So hi, everyone. I hope you've been enjoying the conference thus far, and I am really excited for our brief time together today. It's always wonderful to be in community with folks who are doing meaningful work as it pertains to food, nutrition, climate, learning, and sustainability. And before we get started, I thought it could be nice to just take a moment and ground ourselves in this space. And so I'm just going to note that I can't see you, so I hope that you'll do this with me, even though I can't engage with you in that way. But I'm hopeful that you'll be willing to take a moment just to shake your hands, move your legs a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Stephen. Just kind of wiggle, get into your body. Let's get present in this space, in this special moment that we have together. Just take a moment to breathe in, take a moment to breathe out. And one more time, breathe in, hold it, and now let it out. Perfect. Thank you for doing that with me. So throughout my career, I've had the incredible opportunity to work with communities here in California and across the country and around the world who are transforming our food systems in meaningful ways that benefit our communities and nature. And while doing this work, I've come to understand joy as a powerful resource for creating this type of change. So today, I thought it would be nice to talk about the power of joy and how joy can help us create a more dignified and just food system. And so before I dive in, I want to clarify what I mean when I say joy. Well, the Oxford Companion to Emotion and Affective Sciences describes joy as a state of positive affect in which one experiences feelings of freedom, safety, and ease. So when I say we're creating a more just and joyful food system, we're creating experiences and programs that provide a sense of freedom, safety, and ease, which is powerful. And when I think about this definition of joy, several questions come to mind. For instance, how might experiences change if they were designed to provoke joy? How might policies and institutions be different if we aspired towards a joyful society? How might we see those who we serve differently if we understood their joy? Food is a necessity for life, and what could be the impact globally if we had a joyful food system? So when I think about these questions and the work that we all do, it can sometimes feel daunting or impossible in terms of how to move things forward and provoke actual paradigm shifts in the food system. And this is actually where I find joy to be utterly fascinating, because the experience of joy provides us with a tangible understanding and reference point for how our communities understand and experience freedom, safety, and ease. It gives us an anchor to come back to and check our assumptions and designs as we create and build new concepts, programs, and experiences, which then allows us to intentionally create space for joy and all that joy means in our work. So I just want to note that joy can exist even when sorrow and suffering are present. The experiences aren't necessarily two opposite points on a spectrum. Our work becomes transformative when we embrace joy and also acknowledge the existing realities of life, the hardships and the sorrows. We have to acknowledge the systemic and social injustices that need to be confronted and addressed as we do our work. We have to take time to reflect on our lived experiences, as well as truly understand and confront the history, policies, and choices that have led us to where we are now in terms of our food system. We have to hold multiple truths at the same time. But what is unique is that joy can be used as a beacon or a point of inspiration for paradigm shifts in how we do things. It's how we transform our systems towards a more just and dignified future that is rooted in the joy of our communities. So when I think about the work that each of us is doing to create a more just food system in our respective communities, I believe that we have a rich opportunity to create space for the lived experiences, ideas, and joy of our communities to inform, shape, and create a new reality for our food system. This means we need to be intentional in welcoming our communities into the decision-making process, and then also create experiences and programs that truly reflect on what they have shared. Inviting someone in isn't enough. We also need to make sure our spaces are designed in a way that are culturally relevant, accessible, and embrace a wide spectrum of abilities and needs. The more people who feel as though they belong when engaging with nature, the bigger our impact and our ability to provoke transformational change in benefit of our communities and the environment. So I just want to do a quick exercise to bring this point to life. And I'm going to ask you to just do a little imagination exercise with me here. I just want you to take a moment to think about the last time you felt like you really belonged in a garden. And what do I mean by belong? When was the last time you were in a garden and you felt a sense of joy? You felt like your fullest and freest self. You felt safe and connected. So just take a moment and think about a time where you felt that way in a garden. It could be at your place of work. It could be at your grandma's garden back in the day. Just take a moment and think about it. What was it about the space that allowed you to feel a sense of belonging? For instance, what did the entrance to the garden look like? Was there anyone else there with you? What did you do while you were there? What was growing in the ground? Did the garden look familiar? Or how did the space smell? And what colors did you see? Did you taste or eat anything while you were there? What are some of the things that enabled you to feel like you belonged in that garden? And just take a moment and think about that. I'm going to just pause for a few seconds here, but I hope you can bring a memory to mind of the time that you felt like you really belonged in a garden space. And so I hope that you all have a memory that you're thinking about and reflecting on. And I want you to hold on to that memory as you continue this experience at the conference. Reflect on the intentionality of that garden space and what helped you feel like you belonged. And I did this activity because I think it's sometimes easy to assume that everyone knows what a garden is and will feel comfortable in that space. But that's not always the case. One of the most important lessons I've learned while working in school gardens and community gardens is that the design of the space and how you welcome folks into that space will determine who uses the garden and how it is used. So when you're thinking about how and why you felt like you belonged in your garden, you're actually thinking about cues that were present that allowed you to feel that way. There were things that connected you to memories, perhaps. Or maybe there were signs that explained the garden and helped show you where to go. Or maybe things were naturally easy for you to understand and use. Or perhaps there was someone there that looked like you, or who was really kind to you. And I'm just listing off a few ideas here, but I think all of these things are super important to think about as we build our programs. And thus they require us to be very intentional about the design of our spaces and our programs that are centered on nature and food. And so I just want to say thank you for doing that exercise with me, and I hope that it was helpful for you to think about. And I just want to note we have a very short amount of time today, so I'm actually going to be wrapping up now. But I thought it would be nice to end with a quick passage from Adrienne Marie Brown's book, Emergent Strategy. In it, she states, "It's our right and responsibility to create a new world. What we pay attention to grows. So I'm thinking about how we grow and what we are all imagining and creating into something large enough and solid enough that it becomes a tipping point." And today I've talked a lot about the power of joy to transform our food system. There's so much beauty and power in joy. And as you continue throughout today and this week, I hope, or this weekend, I hope you will reflect on some of what I've shared and find ways to center the joy of your communities in the work that you do. So thank you for letting me share this time with you today. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a really great rest of your weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela, for spending your time with us today. I know you have many things that you could be doing, but it really means a lot for you to inspire us and educate us and make us think differently about how we can all work together. So enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and hopefully we'll get you down to Texas one day. Oh, you're Houston. We're coming.
Yeah, born and raised in Houston, so y'all aren't too far from me or where I grew up.